Welcome to session 10 of Explore the Bible. We continue through the book of Proverbs. Today we look at chapter 29 and some proverbs about discipline and the need to accept discipline, the power of discipline, the use of discipline, why it's important for us in our lives to get through that. We must also not only accept discipline, give it, but we have to be self-disciplined, how important that is. So let's just look at what we have to say today. 29:1 says, "One who becomes stiff-necked after many reprimands will be shattered instantly beyond recovery." One who becomes stiff-necked, what a great image. Isn't it a great phrase that gives us a real strong image of a person who will not accept discipline? It's often used of Israel to talk about them being stiff-necked. That's a person who will not bend the neck, okay, who will not accept that someone else is giving them wisdom, that there's someone that they need to answer to. There's no humility. When you're stiff-necked, you won't bend your neck, so there's no humility. There's no willingness to take what you need to learn and grow from that. You're stiff-necked. I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it. I will not bow to anyone or anyone else's idea or any other truth, no matter where it comes from, even if it comes from the Lord. Now, I just noticed something about this that I think is important. One who becomes stiff-necked, it's not something that you are, you become that. You work your way into that by not listening, by not responding to discipline, and over time, over a long period of time, and repeated instances of having the opportunity to be disciplined, not listening to it, you become stiff-necked. And he says this person, after many reprimands, will be shattered instantly. Okay. Is this a contradiction? After many reprimands will be shattered instantly. Well, if there's many reprimands, then it wasn't instant, right? If it's instant, then why did it take many reprimands? I think the idea of this is that if you're refusing the discipline, when your destruction comes, it'll come as it seems to you out of nowhere. It will seem to you to have been instant. And there will be no recovery. There's no way to come back from that. So while someone on the outside looking in at your life may say, well, but we can see that coming over and over and over again, in that moment for that person, it seemed like it just came out of nowhere. They weren't expecting it because they've become so blinded to their own refusal to listen, their own refusal to respond to discipline, to truth, to those that are trying to guide them, to the Lord. He's trying to pull them and push them in a certain direction. They're so blinded to the refusal that it appears to them when destruction comes, it came from out of nothing, that they didn't see it coming at all. It looked as if it became instantly. Verse 3 says, "A man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but one who consorts with prostitute destroys his wealth." So we really want to focus on the first part of this because I think this is so key. The one who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, and that when we take in discipline, when we take in wisdom, and by that reject foolishness, our parents are pleased. A parent is always happy to see their child embrace wisdom. We long to see our kids embrace wisdom. My parents long to see me embrace wisdom. I long to see my kids embrace wisdom. We pass that through generations. It is a wonderful thing to see your children decide to act wisely, to live in a wise way and not a foolish way. You will make your parents proud as an adult, because this is a man, not a child, a man who loves wisdom. An adult who loves wisdom brings joy to his father. Parents love to see their kids embrace wisdom. It is a way to honor your mother and your father way past the time of childhood, to honor them by embracing and living and loving wisdom, right? "A rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a youth left to himself is a disgrace to his mother." Discipline your child and it will bring you peace of mind and give you delight. Two verses close together, 15 and 17. The importance of doling out discipline. Okay, discipline, not punishment so much. I mean, punishment is a part of discipline, but discipline is what we're trying to give out. Right? We're giving punishment so that we may bring about discipline. We want a child, we want an adult to be disciplined. We want them to grow up to be disciplined. Sometimes that requires a rod of correction. And that a great phrase, isn't it? A spanking imparts wisdom. You think, oh no, I think the only way you give wisdom is by speaking wise words and saying things to a person that, oh, they're hearing these wise words, from the sage. No, sometimes wisdom comes through being punished, through the pain of hurt, of breaking, of outright rebellion that requires strong, immediate, forceful, painful discipline. And that rod of correction brings wisdom. If you don't discipline your kids, if you don't find any way to punish them so that they may bring about self-discipline, if you don't do that at all, they're going to be a disgrace to you. And in some ways, it's on you, if they're left to themselves. If you just leave them to themselves, let them figure it out. Oh, it's a smart kid, they'll figure it out. No, they need discipline. We've got to discipline our kids, right? They will bring disgrace to our name, right? To their parents. Here, the mother. The previous verse, it was the father. The parents. So discipline your child. It brings you peace of mind and gives you delight. You have peace of mind. When your child is disciplined, when you know they're disciplined, it's easier to sleep at night. When they become teenagers, they start driving, they start getting out in the world. It's easier to sleep when you have a confidence about the character of your child that you have built in them through discipline. It makes you feel better when you know that they're going to take care of their business. You know that they're going to do the things they ought to do. I'm not saying that there's any guarantee here of perfection, because every parent knows that is not true, because every parent was once a child, right? So we know there's no guarantee of perfection, but there is a peace of mind. There is an enjoyment. And I will say this, when your child is disciplined, you have a better time with them. It's easier to enjoy the company of your child when your child is disciplined. If you find that you never enjoy being around your child, it may be because you haven't disciplined them. You haven't taught them and how to restrain themselves, how to speak when at the right times, to say the right things. You haven't taught them how to get along in the world. And if you don't like being around them, then do something to fix that. Discipline them. If it's a pain for you to be around your kids, then figure out a way to teach them how to be better, how to better get along with people, including yourself, your own family. For your own peace of mind, discipline your kids. Then this one, and this is a verse that gets translated in various ways, verse 18, 29:18, where there is no vision, the people perish. But here, the Christian Standard Bible says, without revelation, people run wild, but one who follows divine instruction will be happy. We're just going to take these one by one, okay? Without revelation, people run wild. That is, where there is no wisdom and vision from God, where there is no statement from God about how to live, people just do whatever they want to do, right? They go wherever they want to go. And it leads to destruction. But the one who follows divine instruction, that person will be happy. So you see, almost here, we gain an understanding, a better understanding of the first half from the second half of the proverb, right? So let's look at the next one. A servant cannot be disciplined by words, though he understands, he doesn't respond. He's not saying that you can't teach someone, but if you have someone who won't respond, it may be time to get rid of this person. Maybe this person may not be able to work for you, okay? If they're not going to respond to the things that you're teaching them. Do you see someone who speaks too soon? There's more hope for a fool than for him. Boy, here's a tough one. Do you see somebody that speaks too soon? There's more hope for a fool than for that person. That's tough, isn't it? You ever talk too much? I mean, I'm a preacher. That's what we do, right? Sometimes we speak too soon. That is, we speak without knowing. We speak without having all of the information. We see this happen all the time now, don't we? Where you see a short snippet of a video and you make a decision about what's happened and about who's there. And so we ultimately come to a judgment about an event without knowing the whole story. This is foolish, okay? Better to wait. Let's find out what the whole story is. Let's find out what everything is here before we make a judgment on it. It's why we have trials for people that it appears, after being caught on video, are completely guilty. because we're not quite sure what happened before that and after that. We need to know the whole context, all of the events. We need to see all sides of it. This is why we go ahead and have the trial. You may think about, the George Floyd incident and what happened with him, which was a terrible thing. From everything that we've learned about it, it was a horrible event and a terrible thing for a person to do. Why are they even having a trial? Why don't we just take the guy out and execute him in the street, right? Like he did. Well, because there may be things before or after. There may be other things that we need to understand. I'm not saying that I think that's the case, but wisdom says, let's find out. Let's find out. That's wisdom. If we're not willing to find out the whole truth before we render a final judgment, we're fools. We're fools. That's why we build into our system a way to find out the truth. And when the system works correctly, we find out the truth, what the real story is there. And in so doing, we can make a good, reasonable, wise judgment. Well, this is true in large-scale things like that, in national conversation, as well as it is in personal events that happen. When you hear a phrase that someone says, you hear just a snippet of a conversation and you make a judgment about what they're doing. You read one comment someone makes on Twitter and you go off on them not knowing the full story. Find out the whole story. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Act wisely. That's what Proverbs is about. Act wisely. Act wisely. All right. That's it for today. Session 10 about discipline. Disciplining our thoughts. Disciplining our words, our reactions, disciplining our vision, who we listen to, disciplining who we work with, who we spend time with, disciplining our children, accepting discipline from others. It's extremely important for us. I hope this has helped you as you study these passages. Thanks for watching this week. We're enjoying Proverbs. Looking forward to it every week. Subscribe to our channel so you get a little notice in your inbox. Like the videos and share them with others. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.